Hello and welcome to this edition of Takeaway Tuesday. My name is Andra Chamberlain. I am a trainer and a forensic interviewer at the National Children's Advocacy Center. And today we're going to be talking about questions that forensic interviewers can ask to determine clothing placement with preschoolers. What we do know is that we as interviewers, oftentimes when we are attempting to determine clothing placement with young children, we ask, were your clothes on, off, or some other way? Let's examine these seemingly simple questions. According to Stoltzenberg and colleagues in a 2017 article, when clothing placement was either on or off, it was easier for children to share that information. But when clothing placement was intermediate, partially on or partially off, it became much more difficult for children to help us understand as interviewers. If I ask a child, were your clothes on, that requires just a yes or no answer. And the challenge with preschoolers with yes or no answers is we know that the error rate goes up because they will choose one of the options even if it's not correct. What they often do then is we have a yes, we have a no, but it's unelaborated. We don't have any context. We don't have additional information. What we also do, if we don't ask that recognition question, we then may ask a forced choice question. Were your clothes on or off? Again, children may choose one of those options. There is some information that they may choose the first option, they may choose the second option, and dependent on age, they may choose on or off. So, again, not a great question. As interviewers, what we've often done to make it easier in our mind for smaller children is that we will ask, were your clothes on, off, or something else? And our hope is that the or something else will make it easier. If clothing's not on, it's not off, it's something else, children will take that option. Unfortunately, there's very little research that examines the or something else option. What information is in the research says that children mostly they don't take the something else option. They'll still take the on or the off, dependent which is closest. So let's say we have clothes, pants that are down to the knees, they may respond as clothes are on. But if pants are down to the ankle, they may respond with clothes are off. So adding that something else option really doesn't assist, and especially not with the preschoolers, in helping us to determine clothing placement. So what should we do? First, we need to exhaust the narrative. And by narrative, those invitations, those recall questions, just allowing the child to tell us as much as they can about their experiences. We should use those breath or the sequencing questions. What happened next? Then what happened? Tell me the very next thing. We should also use the depth questions. So children have given us, or a child has given us some information, and we take that information and we repeat it back with the details that they've given, and then we ask, tell me more about, or talk to me more about. So our hope is by exhausting the narrative using the breadth and the depth questions that the information shared will help us as interviewers, the investigators, determine clothing placement. But let's say we have exhausted the narrative. We're still unsure. We don't know what to do. So what should we ask instead? There is some information from an article that suggests we should come back and ask, instead of, again, the on, the off, or the on or off, or something else, that we should just ask, where were your clothes? Where were her clothes? Where was his clothes? And see what the child could give you. Oftentimes when clothing placement is intermediate, that kind of halfway on, halfway off. Children are better able to answer the where were your clothes question. Some children, again, and this is individual, development, their communicative abilities, their recall capabilities, those are going to be different for every child. So you may still have a child where you've asked the where question, and they may still say on, they still may say off, and you're going to have to follow up, or they may point to their own body. So let's say you've asked the where question, and you're still a little bit unclear. You're going to have to ask some more of those breadth and depth questions. There is an article, a 2020 article by Line and Henderson that suggests, let's say we've asked the where question and we're still unsure, that another question that we could ask is what happened to your clothes? What happened to his clothes? That children may respond better to that, and there is still some research that's being conducted looking at that particular question. So what this means for you and I as interviewers, intermediate clothing placement can be really challenging, is with young children, do not ask those recognition questions, were your clothes on? So stay away from the yes/no questions, stay away from the forced choice question, were your clothes on, off, or some other way. Instead, ask, where were your clothes? And if that doesn't work, then you might try, what happened to your clothes? If you'd like more information, please check out calio.org. Also look at the NCAC Virtual Training Center for different webinars and seminars that have been recorded with experts in the field. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please email me at the link below. Thanks and have a great day.